All right, let's look at a Chainlink update. We're going to start off on the monthly chart. Last day of the month tomorrow, going into Halloween, starting out November soon. Where do we want Chainlink to close on the monthly? That's what we're going to look at. Primary focus today, monthly, weekly. We'll zoom into the daily after that to kind of focus on what we want to do going into the weekly close. If you like the video, if you want more help navigating the cycle, consider subscribing through Patreon. We do daily updates in there, a lot more educational content. That's right below you. All right, monthly chart. We're breaching the EMA 8, but I don't mind that, right? We've done that each of our previous consolidation times, but what we would like to avoid that we've done previously is close under that yellow line, the 21 month. So as of right now, it's just north of $16. That's also conveniently right where that median Bollinger Band is, which to remain more bullish than not, that's you got to hold. And that's at the exact same spot. That's also known as the 20 SMA. If you look at that on the weekly chart or monthly chart, whatever you're looking at, the median Bollinger Band, just FYI, is the 20 simple moving average. All right, and then we have the 21 exponential moving average. So that's where we want to hold. North of 16, and we're A-okay. We've had some volatility this month. Just a minor low of 790, no big deal. But we maintained above our bear market highs, right? If there's ever a silver lining, right? You know, lemonade out of lemons. We'll go with that. Tag the lower Bollinger Band. Pretty epic move, right? Many altcoins got annihilated, but we're okay. We've recovered. As long as we're not closing back below there, we still got wind in our sails. We still can go higher sooner. Although we're going to need the cycle to extend. Just FYI also, Bitcoin at 108 now. We need that to stay above 100K. As long as we're north of 100K, the cycle goes on. The show goes on. If you can make it as simple, you don't need to make it more complex than that. It's 100K and we're okay. And as long as that happens, Chainlink's still got a fighting chance. At, you know, not only cycle highs, but, you know, upper 30s, 40s, 50s. Those are still real possibilities as long as Bitcoin cooperates. All right, so the monthly chart, that's about what we need to be focusing on. Anything north of 16 is ideal. Obviously, the higher the better. Let's look at the weekly. What do we need to focus on this week? Well, you can see we've lost a little bit of traction on the weekly because, just like we looked at the monthly, we've closed under the 21 EMA, the yellow line. Again, we wicked off back in late September, closed below that on our Devil Week, and we've been unable to kind of flip back above there. So again, we're on our back leg here. We're on defense. You can see the median Bollinger Band there at 1950. That's our pivot. If you want bulls to pick back up, and it's a pretty obvious spot. Look at the range highs here. We flipped that to resistance. Sign of weakness, which is why we're not able to just get it going again. All we need to do for Chainlink to get it in gear again, start holding this back to support. $19.50 to $20, right? That's been a historical level for 5 years now. And it's pretty obvious here. Until then, obviously we're in a downtrend. And that's the odds of continuation until we hit something better. Or we hold this very fine line, which I would give it a, you know, we got a fighter's chance here, puncher's chance, but this isn't huge. But we do have the 100-week EMA right here, also at 1627 as of right now. You have your range highs, flip to range lows. So yeah, this is a little bit of a zone. We've held it with some wicks, but here comes the but. If we close under the 100 on the weekly this week, next week, 7 weeks from now, don't care, the odds of us holding before these range lows become pretty remote. We could always hope for the 200 week in the pink there, but that's at 1450. But when have we ever respected that, right? If your coin's not respecting a big moving average, why would you expect it to start respecting it out of nowhere, right? It's not likely. Didn't do it here, back in March, didn't do it back in last year. Doesn't really matter. I would look more of, You know, where do we want to make lemonade out of lemons again? We have a low, higher low, slightly higher low. Anything north of that would be a win, really, as long as this cycle can continue. If we still have 2, 3, 5, 10 months left of the cycle, perhaps, then we're still okay on the macro. So that low, that close is 1165. If we lose that, I would guess Bitcoin's under 100K and we are not okay. But I give that low probability. I think the cycle continues on. I think Bitcoin's in the formation stages of forming a low here. I think it is a legit possibility that we do visit the low 100s, if not 100K again, maybe even sub 100K briefly. As long as Bitcoin doesn't close under 100K, it's all fine. So just remain patient, as we know you are with Chainlink. If this fails, it's hard for me to buy that we're not gonna at least, you know, wick down. Hopefully not that wick, but at least kind of visit 13 to 12 again. If we close under here, now we could be forming a low right here. Same with Bitcoin. This is not the phase where you should get complacent. Things can change very quickly. Take a couple weeks ago, right? It doesn't always have to be quickly to the bull side. It could be quickly to the bear side and then recovery. We could do the opposite. When have we ever seen that? Not likely. Any kind of crazy wick has always been on the devil side. I don't think we've seen too many inverses of those. Not to my recollection. Where we just skyrocket up. That would be cool, though. If just Chainlink out of nowhere just shoots up to like 45 in 2 hours, we take it. All right, but that's kind of what we're looking at on the weekly. It's battling to find some kind of a low, but it's going to depend on, you know, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin dominance is still so high, and Bitcoin's on the fence of what the hell it's going to do. So that's not great for altcoins. But if Bitcoin finds a low relatively soon, this is a pretty good obvious spot for Chainlink, right? The 100-week, big moving average, previous range highs, new range lows, hold range lows. We close under 16. See you in hell. Let's go to the 3-day. Not much to take away there. You have your 200 EMA there, which is, you know, because we're on a 3-day chart, that's your 600-day moving average. That's a big one. That's at 1660. We'd like to hold that. All right, let's continue on. The daily chart, we're chopping around after our big move down, right? That's just adjusting the move. This is typical. Here's our 600-day, which we just looked at, right? Low close, low close. Look how narrow the Bollinger Bands are on the daily. That's about as narrow as we've seen in quite some time. Long time. Maybe since back here. All right, so that 600 EMA is at 1650, right? We don't want to close under that. If we do, again, there's just more momentum gone. Here's our zone that we looked at on the weekly. We got to hold that in all lemonade stand idealness. Otherwise, it's probably we're kicking the can down the road. I mean, here's our flip level, right? It's obvious on the daily too. Range lows, new range highs, resistance. Get us back above all moving averages. It's $20. Surprise. That gets us back above everything. Gets us our head above the clouds again. Bulls come back. Everyone's happy. Kumbaya. Until then, prepare for war. Okay. Anything else? Comments? Let me know. I still think the cycle goes on. I think this is all just BS horseplay. And Bitcoin's typical. 1075. Like each of the Bitcoin's previous 3 consolidations since the start of 2023, it's had 3. We've always tested the 50-week EMA. The 50-week, let's just go look at it. Bonus content for those of you waiting along. So Bitcoin on the weekly, let's just go look at the 50 EMA and see where that might be. It's right down here. It's in the green, and it's $100,757 as of now. But we've done that. That's where we had to go to last time before we started a new cycle high, and the time before that, and the time before that. So every time of consolidation, we're just starting the bull run here. But every time of consolidation, we've had a move down, a slight bounce, and then a move to finally retrace a little bit lower at the 50 before making new highs. We had to move down, a little bit of a bounce, ultimately moving back down to the 50 before making new all-time highs. This is all absolutely typical, but Bitcoin's still trying to hold. You know, same kind of thing the Chainlink's working on. The EMA 34 week for Bitcoin is at 106.5. Hasn't really respected that. The biggest one on Bitcoin is the 50 week. All right. I'll round it up there. Round it off. Whatever. All right. It's not the day, but I don't care. A promise must never be broken. Whatever you tell your dog and cat, if you tell them you're going to take them out for a walk, you got to do it. Car of the day. Don't we all wish we had a great bull run? I do. This might be in my driveway. Look at this price. This is the best price I've ever seen on a McLaren 650S. I know it's a little bit older, but 100K for McLaren. And this is a real good one. I've already checked it out in depth. It's all carbon. Like this guy's spec'd this out too. Whoever had this originally. Great deal. Wow. I'm shocked how much these have dropped. Oh, still looks great. 10 years old. Looks fantastic. 100K. Well, if only we had a bull run to offload some coins to spend it on frivolous supercars. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Chainlink out. We'll see you in November.